Hey, everybody, welcome to Money Matters. Today, I gotta tell you, we've got the country music scene hitting legal things because we've got Cynthia Renee Brown, joining us today. She's not only a lead singer of her band, but she's an amazing estate attorney as well. And she's gonna help us to understand why every great financial strategy also needs a really great estate plan. So let's bring her on. Hey, Cynthia, how are you?
Hi, Nikki. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing super great. I am so excited that you are joining us today. This has been a long time coming, so I'm
Yes, thank you
super
so
excited.
much. Yeah, for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to say, before we jump into all the, nitty gritty details, we've got to know, how do you and Marshall know each other? Because I kind of know a little bit about it, but you want to
Yeah,
share?
so it's rather interesting how our worlds collided. So, as you mentioned in the introduction, I am a musician. So I've got my alter ego. I put my attorney hat on during the day, and then I put my music hat, my cowgirl hat on at night. And I
Right.
was actually playing at a venue in Sacramento called Crawdads on the River, and
Mhm.
I was kind of bummed that day because I had found out that my drummer was moving to Oregon, and I had
Oh,
had him in my band for a long time. And it just so happened that when I took a break, I had this sweet gal come up to me. Her name was Alicia, and she says, "Hey, if you're ever in need of a drummer, my brother is a fantastic drummer." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Is this
wow.
fate or what?" So I ended up texting him all day, bugging him. And finally that night he called me and he said, "All right, what's going on? You need a drummer?" And I said, "I absolutely need a drummer." And he's played country music for years. I know he's
Hmm.
from Nashville originally. And so,
Hmm.
like, perfect fit. And
Yeah.
so the rest is history. He's been a drummer in my band for a couple of years now. Yeah.
Ah, what a great story. I love that. I actually didn't know about that little part about how you actually met. So that's really cute. I
Yeah.
love that.
Pretty
And it
cool.
really is like fate, right?
It is. It is.
And don't you have some special things brewing in your music career right now?
I do. I have a new album. It's releasing March 20th. So, for any of our financial heads out there that also love to listen to music in their car and when they're trying to relax, they can go to Cynthia Renee Music and all the streaming platforms, and they'll be able to hear my new music coming out. To be doing a lot of traveling coming up. I'm going to Mississippi. I'm going to Idaho. I am going to Pendleton Rodeo in Oregon. So,
Yeah.
and good old Marshall's going to be accompanying me on all this stuff. So we've got a lot of time to talk about stuff because we do like traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, congratulations on the new
Thank
album.
you.
And hey, everybody, we'll pop her links into the description of this podcast
Awesome.
so you can follow her. Hello.
That'd be wonderful.
Well, no band can just be just one person. Well, I guess you could have a one man band, but just like any great financial strategy, you need to have a solid estate plan too. I mean, just like the same makings of a band, you have different parts of it in order to make it super strong. And I know that you're no stranger to that. So I'm
Yes.
hoping we can just dive on in and you can share with us why it's so important to have both in place.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, I tell my clients, I've got thousands of clients. I've been doing this for a long time. And I've told my clients from the get go, when they come meet with me, I'll say, okay, great, I can get your estate plan component in place. But do you also have a financial advisor? Do you also have a tax person? Because
Right.
really, it takes kind of a team to
Mm-hmm.
be able to both help build your wealth and then be able to transition it to your
Yeah.
family when something happens to you. So there's a lot of components involved, and so I always like to say that first and foremost. But yes, an estate plan is so critical because we work hard our whole lives,
Right.
and we build this nest egg and this money that we Hope will get us through retirement. And, and yeah, fingers crossed, and,
Mhm.
market's willing,
Oh yeah.
that hopefully we will get through retirement and we'll leave, something nice for our family, just a nice
Sure.
gesture. And a lot of people don't realize that if we don't take an effort to then preserve that money under an estate plan, or
Mm-hmm.
trust or a will, but most people do need a trust and a will. And if they don't have it under that vehicle, then it's going to be a lot of problems for their family. And a lot of that money is going to be deducted out of the estate because we have to have the court administer it. And that's expensive.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes. So do yourself and your family and friends a favor
yes.
and get your estate put together. That I know Marshall says the same thing. He'll work with clients and he'll say, okay, this is great. We have a financial plan. We've got this strategy going, but who are you getting your estate put together through?
Yes.
And then he
Absolutely.
also with the taxes as well. That's so
Yes.
important.
Yeah, it takes a village. That's what I tell my clients. And the thing is, a lot of people will say, well, Cynthia, I don't have millions and millions in my estate. I don't have 15 million, which is the current estate tax exemption that you can claim
Mhm.
under your estate. So why do I need a trust? Well, what people often do is they confuse estate taxes with probate costs. And
Mhm.
so I say, okay, well, you may not have 15 million. You might not have a big tax issue when you pass away. And that's okay. If you do have that problem, it's a good problem because it means you're doing
Right.
really well. But if you have under 15 million, we still need to look at avoiding probate because
Right.
probate is a percentage of the actual gross estate. So if we say we've got an $800,000 house, we've got
Exactly.
$200,000 in the bank, we've got things like that. Well, you can look at taking a big chunk of that if you have to have the estate fall into probate, which is kind of the backup plan that the state has for you.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
don't take the initiative and plan ahead.
Yeah. And to your point, I'm also a realtor. So not only am I a marketing specialist, but I'm a realtor and I have dealt with many different listings that have had issues because they were in probate and you can't move forward until that is complete and that can take a long time. It could take a few months, it could take years.
It can.
So
Yeah,
having
especially in
everything,
California. Yeah, especially in
yes.
California. California, I would say, has one of the lengthiest processes in all of the United States. And so I tell people, in most cases, if there's real estate involved, especially if there's still a mortgage attached, I mean, you're looking at probably a minimum of 6 months to a year or longer for
Oh yeah.
that.
Definitely, definitely. I've seen
Yeah.
it so many times.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
it's a nightmare, and I know that those of you watching, that's not what you want to leave behind. You don't wanna leave behind a hot mess. You wanna leave behind a legacy. So, help
Absolutely.
us to help you.
Absolutely. Your children will thank you. Your family will thank you. It's probably, I've had children of clients tell me this when their parents passed away, that having the estate in a trust has
Mhm.
been the biggest gift that they have left to them because they've seen what's happened with other people that have had to deal with this lengthy uh, public court
Oh, yeah.
process because it all
Oh,
goes on
yeah.
public record. It's all published online now in the newspapers. But if we do it under a trust, it operates kind of like this little private family
Mhm.
business and it can carry
Yes.
on to the next generation.
Yeah, it's so much better. It's worth it, everybody. And so to that point, can you share a little bit about what it takes to get a trust up and running?
Yeah, so it's a lot simpler than people think. So I would say that that's probably one of the biggest barriers that I see to people getting a trust done is they think it's going to be, super comprehensive and all these
Mhm.
pages and pages of work that they have to do and time consuming and very, very expensive. Well, the bottom line is it doesn't have to be all those things. And some people
Right.
might have a little more complicated estate. They might have more real estate. They might have properties in different states, but
Mhm.
that's just all the more reason to have it under a trust because A lot of people don't realize if you own property in Oregon and property in California, you're going to go through a probate in Oregon and a probate in California
Mm-hmm.
if you have it under a trust. If we can get all those properties under a trust, it's going to have this nice cohesive process that can be handled through your named trustee under your trust. It's not that time consuming. I go through a questionnaire in the office with the clients. We try to get most of it done in the office. Sometimes they will need to take it home and look up some things with their financials, but we try to get it most of the way done. Then they get it back to me, and that's what I use to kind of develop a draft. So we'll start doing a draft of things, and then I'll email it to them. They can review it. We'll go through and have, if they have questions, we'll do a conference call. And so with most people, we can have things done from start to finish within 30 days. And most people only make 2 trips to my office because we can do conference calls, we can do Zoom, whatever needs to be done. And that way it'll save them from coming back and forth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sounds like you make it as simple as you possibly can for them. So
I do. And I even have clients down in LA, San Francisco, anywhere in California, because that's where I'm licensed. But if they need to get, a notary down in LA, they can just get a local notary to get everything finalized. But we can do all of the planning and the drafting, and then I can mail them the hard copy so they can go and get it notarized with a local notary. So yeah, I've got clients all over California, and it's really fun to be able to work with people. In fact, during COVID is probably where I ended up really taking advantage of doing things remotely, and it's kind of stuck because now I have a lot of people that are elderly that can't get out.
Yeah.
So we can just do it, with conference calls or Zoom calls and get most of it done now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, I'm kind of chuckling in my head because I know of some people who try to, I'm a DIY type of person. And all of those of you out there who know me, I'm a DIY kind of gal, but not when it comes to this. And so I'm just kind of chuckling because I know some people who are very much those type of people. And that's fine, whatever. But can you share with us a little bit about the pros and cons of DIYing the administration of your trust versus having your estate attorney get involved to help guide?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. and I do admire you for being a DIY person because I try to be that way too. And in this modern age that we live in, and with AI and all this stuff, it's making things a little easier for us to be able to not always have to go to a person and have an appointment for different things. But don't take the fast lane on getting your trust done and try to do it that way. There's just too many things that can go wrong, and a lot of times what will happen is someone that does try to do it themselves, they'll call me and say, I did my trust myself, but I would just like you to check it over and make sure that I did everything right. And I'll say, I'll gladly do that, but chances are I'm going to find an issue. I think there's probably only one trust that I reviewed with no problems in the 20 plus years I've been doing this.
That's
and well, the major issue is it might not be the language. It might have all the beautiful legalese and they've looked up all the California and federal code. And that's great. But the key issue is, have you funded everything to the trust? That's a big step of making sure your deeds recorded properly through the county, making sure that the registry of all of your financials are under the trust. That's a big step that a lot of people don't connect the dots on. And so what they end up with is this beautiful, elaborate, but empty trust. And it's useless. Yeah.
We don't want that. That's just a waste of time. So I feel like what I'm hearing from you is get a consultation on the books and start working through that together so you don't miss something. You don't want it to all fall apart. Again, I guess, you might not be around for it, but your family's going to be around for it, and it's better to be missed than cursed. So just saying.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And it's a lot, easier for me to look at it and quickly clean up something unless you wait. And then, like you said, your family has to do it after you're gone. So.
Have you had any nightmare situations from people who thought they could easily handle being the executor of the estate and everything, and it's gone just kind of just massively sideways?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Oh,
I have had that happen. I've had, gosh, so many crazy situations, but I think sometimes the biggest problem that I have is I'll have the trustee or the executor. They'll make an appointment with me for their parents, and they'll bring in this huge box of papers, and they don't even know where to begin with sorting through. Yeah, and sometimes
the
they've
box
had
of horrors.
boards. They've had amendments done. They don't know which one's the current one. They don't know which documents
No.
apply to the situation. So we'll spend, a couple hours and we'll just sort through everything. And by the end of it, we've got, the box is down to, a pile like more like that. That's much more manageable.
It's a file folder instead of the box of horrors.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
That's hysterical. Oh my goodness. I know you have so many great stories to share and great insight and tips. So we definitely need to have you back on Money Matters soon, because I'm already thinking of some different areas that I bet you our viewers and listeners would love to learn more about. So I want to thank you for being on, and for those of you watching, I can't say this louder and clearer enough. Look, if you have an estate plan in place, great, but that's not going to work unless you got your money, your finances, that strategy in place. And conversely, if you've got your financial plan in place, well, hey, you need to get the other component together.
They go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. And yeah, you got to have your team. CPA,
Yep,
financial advisor, attorney.
that's right. The trifecta. The trifecta for success. It's funny. Just a little side note. Marshall and I put together this stress test for people. It's just a checklist that they can download, and then they can go through it and see if their retirement plan, if their financial plan is okay, because they may not have visited it for quite a while.
Right.
And so they can do that and see if it's still okay. So by the way, you can download that. I'll put the link in the
That's
description.
amazing. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
good to have that, check the pulse now and then, see what's going on for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for being with us on
Thank
Money
you.
Matters. We'll see you
Wonderful.
next
Talk to
time.
you
And we'll
soon.
see all of you next time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.